All right. Looks like we're here. Hold on. Let me put this on the screen. Let's put this on the screen here. Hey, everybody. It's the final day of the World Athletic Championships. World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan. Man, today, that is crazy. Let me see if I got that. Okay. That is on the screen, I think. There we go. Yep, that's on the screen. It's early in the morning. We'll see if anybody is going to be here. But whether you guys are here on the live or not, I said I might come out today. So I am. So let's go over here to the track and field playlist. Where is that at? They got a whole bunch of different playlists here. Actually, I'll just go to the regular videos. Man, this is the greatest 4x400 meter relay I think I have ever seen. That's the most exciting one that I've ever seen. I'll put it that way. Cole Hawker wins that 5,000. The 1,500 decided the decathlon. I was hoping the USA athlete could get it, but man, they got him. I was like, man, this dude looks literally like a football player. He's not about to have a good 1,500. He's too hulked up. I'm like, no, he's not going to be able to do that necessarily. Let's first look at South Africa racing for a final spot here. While we wait for everybody else, Fair Use NBC, Fair Use Flow Track, and Fair Use everybody else. All right, Fair Use YouTube. If you guys are here, share the video. If you guys are here, share the video. We're going to see South Africa. They barely... They needed to do a 38.43 or something like that, or to get in, but they unfortunately didn't. Again, if they were going to allow this to happen, I feel like they should have just allowed Italy to try it. But I don't think it was Jacob's fault. Obviously, that's why they didn't disqualify them. They didn't make it anyway. But here we go. 38.34. That's what they had to get. They've already done several 4x1s this season, and they went faster than that. Like, wait a minute, why did they stop the clock? I'm like, wait a minute, why did they stop the clock? They're the only team out there. Go to the camera on them. The coaches, they're like, why don't you stop the clock? And everybody's having a conspiracy like they cheated against them and everything like that. I'm like, nah, that's not how it works. You can double check that. They could fudge some of the numbers. In honesty, they could probably fudge only about 2 1,000s, maybe. 2 1,000s, maybe. You can't fudge a few tenths of a second. They were like, why the clock is like that? All right, let's get to the races today. Let's see. Let's start off with the men's 4x4 because it kind of went in that order. The 4x1s were the last ones up. So we're going to start with the men's 4x400 meter relay. We're going to watch this one. This has to be my favorite event. That had to be the favorite event to really knock those things out there. Okay, they just uploaded some videos a few minutes ago. Probably the interviews and whatnot. Here we go. The 3-way finish. This was crazy. Thank you for letting me know. Oshla Reds. There we go. Oshla Reds. Okay. If this will load up. Man, look at that downpour. That happened right before they started. Like, they started stepping out of the track, and this thing went down. I'm like, that kind of robbed us from so many, because y'all saw the championship record on the women's side. And I'm like, okay, USA got a couple of things against them. They had to rerun. Okay, I'm like, okay, if we even that out, they had to rerun, but they're in lane 1. Lane 1 has all that water. Y'all see that water over here in lane 1? I know how tracks are made, and they're usually, if they're extremely level, they can get that. But once you build a surface and it's been sitting there for some years, sometimes things get a little bit uneven, and the way that some of the tracks are there. They're trying to get the water to flow in a certain direction. So there's going to be a slight tilt. And as you can see, they got lane 1 with all of that freaking water. It's just how those surfaces are made. Lane 1 is most likely the one to get the water. If other ones are, that's because of the indentations or something about the track being, maybe somebody doing some exchanges in lane 6 or something like that. You might get some dents or whatever from overuse in those areas. But dang. And they said you could only change one person on the team. I'm like, Team USA changed 2 people. They keep saying this all the time. And I'm like, where did they change one person? Because Norwood wasn't on there. And Rod Benjamin wasn't on there. But they keep saying you can only change one person on the team. I'm like, no. They changed 2 people. They got 2 alternates. What are they talking about? But they say this every year. But lane 1, I'm like, they're the big disadvantage. Number 1, that was an extra lane. I'm glad they're making 9-lane tracks just in case. This is a fantastic idea. They got a 9-lane track just in case anybody needs to race in or do something, or there was a mistake made or whatever to get into a final. Instead of the 8-lane, because you still get the 8 regular ones. You don't get this extreme disadvantage of lane 1 unless somebody gets in. So they're at a slight disadvantage in lane 1. They're all with that water on the first leg. But hey, maybe it evens out. But yeah, this had to be crazy. This is like a movie. This is like a movie. And I'm not sure if I'm going to play the whole thing. I'm going to go skip around some certain parts. But Vernon Norwood's doing his thing. Botswana is doing his thing. Norwood, you can see, just look at the splash on him compared to everybody else. He got all of this friction. It's like running on the carpet. And he's also running on the outside of lane 1. So he's running extra distance. He's got extra. Nobody else has those splashes like that. So on the first leg, USA has the biggest disadvantage, also all the way up until basically the first 100. So first 500 meters, USA is already at a disadvantage. And you could argue even them cutting in, it might even be 600 meters. But Tobago, to be honest, since Botswana wasn't that far behind like that, I'm surprised Tobago may not have passed our athlete. But that just proves how much work our athlete is doing and how much Tobago just could not catch him. For as much as and as strong as he is over the 300 and 400, he really could not pass up our athlete. He evened up with the athlete. He evened up with us, but he could not pass us up. And it's good that we got younger guys coming in, guys less experienced, running this 4x4. They get the experience that Norwood has, and then in the future, they will be able to run this. And then Van Niekerk, this man right here, put South Africa back in contention for it. Because right here, even though he did the Open 200, just like he medaled in the past, I think, back in 2013? World Championships or something like that? But here's the thing right here. He put South Africa in contention to be able to do that. So that was a terrific leg by him. And then Rod Benjamin, we're going to skip this just a little bit. Man, what the heck happened with them? They just dropped the baton. The champion in the Open, he's right here on Stockton. And Rod Benjamin, I think he could have actually won this, but as he said, he tied up. He tied up. I'm over here like, come on, come on. And I'm like, he didn't put enough distance. And I said, uh-oh, he's doing the little hurdle thing at the end. But good thing he still leaned. That was a good lean for silver. But we got robbed from the weather, not from the officials or anything. We got robbed from a good potential record here. Because I'm like, dang, that rain, it just had to come down. Congratulations to Botswana. USA got that second. But I'm telling y'all, this water right here, I'm over here. Can we get a rain machine? I'm like, these adverse conditions in a 4x4, I kind of like seeing this. Is especially with the camera, whatever camera they got. I'm going to find out which camera they use. This makes it look like a movie. It's the dark, rich colors. You got the kind of bluish color here. It's more cool than warm. And I'm like, the whole setting was just great. That was a great 4x400 meter relay. One of the best I have seen ever. Then we see that we're going to come in with the Jamaican. We're going to come in with the 4x4s. I mean, 4x1s in a second. I'm going to cover this one. I'm going to skip it through a little bit more. Fair use once again, NBC, Flow Track, and everybody else, YouTube. This is for commentary and whatnot. So we're going to skip that. I think it starts right around... Oh, no. Whitaker, I think she's the USA. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't she the indoor record holder for the 400 now? She did that at the NCAA indoor championships. Oh, yeah, by the way, do y'all pronounce it championship or championship? Because I hear it so many different ways. The British, the Americans, even the between a British person and another one, and an American versus another one, nobody pronounces it the same way. And I'm like, it is SH, so championship, but I always say championship. Okay, Jamaica is a dangerous squad in that 4x4. And proving it here on the first leg. But USA is just way better as far as this year. But Jamaica is always doing their thing in that 4x4. They in recent years have been able to show up. Oakley, she did really well. Whitaker did really well on that first one. Lena Irby, I'm finna shill for you every single time. Congratulations. Now you are on the 4x4 instead of just the mixed one. I'm glad that they have her on the 4x400 and running in the final. All right. Irby Jackson, I should say, because she's now married. But Lena, shout out to you and your mom. And shout out to Indiana. The Midwest representing right there. I always got to do that for people that I know. Y'all know me. I got to go a little bit extra. But yeah, Lena Irby, she been coming up the squad. The only thing there, hold on, y'all. I will call you back. I'm doing my live. Doing my live. All right, had to pick up for my best friend. We talk about track and field. He wins at the Masters. But anyway, that was a great leg by Lena Irby Jackson. More the same from Butler. So we're going to skip this a little bit here. We already know the result. We know the result. To me, Irby Jackson running on that final. Look, okay, I gotta point this one out here. I gotta point this one out. I know this is more of a focused look. Irby Jackson running on this open got me more excited than anything that Sydney could have done. She could have ran a 43 on her leg, and I still would have been like, wow, that's crazy. But Lena, you got it. I should call her mom. But okay, here we go. Or hit her up on Instagram, really. But here we go. Let's see. Okay, she's feeling the pain a little bit, and she sees that. Femke kind of look dead right here. She over here like, dang, I got to do this here. I can't catch Sydney at all. She just, that's more than a focus. I know it's kind of focused, but she don't normally look that dead. It's more like, I'm tired. 4x4. I'll be done after this. Y'all know the look. Everybody that's done track, you know when you on 4x400, you got to do that 4x4 duty. It's barely anybody be looking forward to that 4x4. She got that look in her face. Anybody else can relate? She got the look like, right here. That's the look she kind of got it in her face. Let's go. But she's like, okay, I got to do it. And I can't tell if she's like going all out to try to catch Jamaica's athlete or not. And dang, Price. Isn't that Price on the anchor? And Price actually is a decent 400-meter athlete. I look forward to seeing how she progresses and how much better she gets. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong if that wasn't Price at the end. I think that was Price running the anchor. But Sydney does that, brings us in for a championship. I'm going to say this time record 3:16.61. Imagine what that would have been without even the rain that was there. Now, it wasn't raining on them like it was the men, but still. So congratulations to the ladies there for that win championship record. Lena, I'm really excited about that one. Oh, so that was Price. I got her name. Okay, now we go over to the 4x1s. Okay, it's not there, so I got to go back to their home page. This was crazy. Who would have predicted they would have been this, I don't know, that close? And I'm going to stop for Shelly Ann on hers because we got to give her a decent send-off too. But let's go to the men first. And then we go to the women. Just like I covered the men's 4x4. Fair use NBC, fair use Flow Track, and fair use YouTube. I'm going to say this all the time. All right. I know that the women technically went first, but let's go over here, skip around. I finally understand why they put world champion and world record holder over Christian Coleman. I thought they were talking about the relay in general, and I'm like, wait a minute. The U.S. don't got the record in this. It's Jamaica now. And I'm like, oh, Christian Coleman, because of the indoor 60. They're talking about him individually, because I'm like, they put world champion and world record holder. And have y'all noticed that during this world championships, they keep saying Olympics, at least for Otto and everything. I know everybody might be listening to different broadcasts. I listen to some of Jamaica's broadcasts. I listen to the British and I listen to the American one. And the American one has kept saying Olympics. They kind of throw in world championships, but they keep saying this team has showed up at the Olympics. This team has done this. The Olympics. And I'm like, but they're really meaning world championships. And I'm wondering if Otto, if he's doing it on accident or on purpose. And I'm like, nah, he did it over multiple days. So I'm like, this got to be an intentional thing that they're wrapping world championships and Olympics together. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. Now, I did keep saying that Canada is dangerous, even though they don't got the individuals, and they still were dangerous on this one. Why? Because they were able to get those exchanges decent, but USA was better. So Lindsay opens it up. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, is that Coleman? Yeah, Coleman opens it up. Now, this exchange, that was perfect. That was perfect. Benerick on that back straightaway. Lindsay on that curve. Had to look back. That was kind of shaky. And right here, Canada is kind of vying for the lead right there, actually. But it was over once you gave it to Noah Lyles with the running start. And then DeGrasse, that isn't necessarily at his prime or anything like that. It's over. You're not having it. He's had a rough season. Lyles got that, ran away with it, streaked away, and it's a wrap. But congratulations to those teams. Team USA bringing it back again. Now, I hope y'all can get this together in 2028. Because the Olympics, for some reason, just like Noah Lyles in the 200, cannot get that gold at the Olympics. What the heck is going on? Everything else is working out, but can't get that. Noah Lyles and the 4x1 just keeps eluding. The gold keeps eluding for the American team. I don't know what it is, but congratulations, Team USA, Canada, and the Netherlands. And let's move over to the women's 4x100 meter relay. Unless somebody made a comment here. Yeah, you were talking about, yeah, price ran well. Let me keep the comments up so I can see it as it's live if anybody does it. Again, I'm back in 2026, so anybody that was a regular viewer in the past, I'm coming back regular in 2026. And anybody that's new, because there are a few new people, I will be back regularly covering things in 2026. Many of the meets, not all of the meets, but many of them. Man, this was crazy. Especially to see some of these things live, like that 4x1. This is crazy. Gave me goosebumps. I'm telling you. Each one of these relays, they lived up to the bill. And I'm glad that we are so blessed to be able to see this. This was crazy. I'm like, she over here keeping this in her shirt. Keeping that thing out the water. Jefferson Wooden, 100, 200 meter champion, thinking about how she's going to help bring the rest of the quartet to the gold. All right. Okay. I'm going to let this play out a little bit here. Fair use again. Fair use. NBC, fair use Flow Track, and fair use YouTube. I'm saying it at every moment. So when the people cut in and they try to press the button for the copyright strike, you heard my voice at this moment say fair use. Man, those Spaniards kind of remind me of, I'll say that another time. But Shelly Ann Fraser Price, thank you for your service. All of these years, you represented Team Jamaica coming in like a storm in 2008 to take that gold. And now here you are competing in 2025. Dang, that is a long time, y'all. Was she 21 in 2008? 21, 22. Just a relatively young upstart took the gold for Team Jamaica, and she hasn't looked back quite literally since. I'm telling you, they got the same skin tone. Them dark skinned ones on there. I love dark skinned people. I'm telling y'all, the darker the better. That's why I'd rather have myself dark. I'm more like brown skin, like the athlete that's on what is it? I think Poland's team. They got one no, this team right here, Canada. I'm about that skin tone, a little bit lighter than her. But in any case, as an aside, probably be her. But in any case, I'm like, look. And so it catch my attention when somebody like that. But they got 4 that's the same dark skin. Man, that's crazy. They said ladies had 2 bad passes. Let me pause this up and read that for a sec. Or actually keep it going. Had 2 bad passes while they lost the goal. Was disappointed that Sharika didn't run. Shelly Ann ran great on her last leg. Yep. That was the last run for home. Oh, dang. That could be a good title for a documentary. Last run for home. Anybody that's listening want to do one on Shelly Ann or somebody else? Last run for home. This is good. That would have been a great one to end it off on. Last run for home, and then Team Jamaica gets gold. Okay, I'm gonna stop this one a few times because it's a lot of stuff going on here. What is that? Dina opens up for Britain. Then you got Shelly Ann. Okay. I don't know what they did. Because I know it's good to have Shelly Ann. She's not necessarily a curve runner, but in more recent years, and of course she started Team Jamaica several times. I think even London she started as the first leg. Yes, London, I think. She started as the first leg, but here's the thing. You wouldn't necessarily put Shelly Ann as the start sometimes because of the curve, but she's able to eat almost anybody up on the curve in these recent years. Let me start this one more time. Here's Shelly Ann, Jefferson Wooden, Dina. And Dina's a good curve runner. Jefferson Wooden, obviously 200 meter champion. And she's able to hold her on. All right. Here, about first exchange, goes off to Team USA. They get it off first. Then it's going to be Jamaica and Great Britain. The reason why I'm pointing out Britain is because technically they're going to be in the lead coming up. Watch this. That they weren't given attention, even though they don't medal. This just shows how strong and how good their exchanges are and how strong their first two legs were. Now, Shelly Ann is able to hold her own against the 100, 200 meter champion. What type of ice bath that they put her in? What did she have to do to make sure she recovered for this? I don't know, but she did a hell of a showing right there. Then you had one of the twins, I don't know which one, but one of the twins that was there. Now, Britain is currently in the lead right now. They got about a 1.5 stride length lead. What is that, about a meter or so? Britain's currently in the lead. USA in second, Jamaica in third. And then everybody else is kind of in the dust, especially Germany. Germany's a good fourth based on where they are. And I'm judging it off of the 200 meter marks here and the 4x100 meter marks here. Britain's in the lead with USA right there, but USA starts to claw back at them. Jamaica's now in the lead. And then this exchange right there, that's the thing that kind of flubs it up just a little bit. It wasn't the worst exchange. The twins had a worse exchange, actually. But as I don't know which one. Let me read the comment. Do y'all know which twin went in what order? Because I don't know. They had their hair done a certain way, and I don't know if that matches up any specific one. I like to know which athlete is on which leg. Y'all notice I'm trying to call out the names instead of saying America, Britain, whatever. And then Britain took themselves out. I don't know who this athlete is here, but they took themselves out on that horrible last exchange, and that could have been a medal for them. That could have been a medal for them. That was really bad. Jamaica has an okay exchange. I think it was bad. USA did much better. I'm going to play this in slow motion right here so we could break this down and really look at this one. Because Jamaica is in the lead, kind of, sort of. Team USA in the lead, but Sha'Carri isn't at top form right now. So Jamaica really could have caught up right there. But it was just an average exchange. Team USA passed that off in one hit. It was like hit, boom, hit, boom. Took that back. Jamaica had to adjust the baton. I forget the name of the athlete on the anchor. But Sha'Carri took that flawlessly. Britain just took themselves out. Lucan Kempfer came up and just went from like fifth place, actually, all the way up to freaking third. So she came up with the Jets. She wasn't the European champion for no reason. But Sha'Carri almost got caught. And I got to break this down for the two exchanges. Because Shelly Ann's first exchange on that first handoff was great. To the first twin, that was a great one. So I'm going to play this in regular speed. And we just going to play it through now. But this was crazy. Because I'm looking at this like, what? I thought Shelly Ann was going to do okay. But I thought Jefferson Wooden would at least have got some gap on her. But no. USA had an okay exchange right there. Matched up with Jamaica's okay exchange. They're vying for the lead back and forth. I would say Jamaica slight edge, but then USA right there as they switch hands. That was great for Sha'Carri. Just like that. And unfortunately, Jamaica ran out of real estate. Sha'Carri didn't even have to lean. And Team USA got it. Congratulations. So that was Smith, I see. But unfortunately for them, Team Jamaica it wasn't their day. Yep, I agree with you. That last exchange was salute. So that's what I'm going to cover today. This has been a good season. I haven't really been here, y'all. I'm doing more videos than I did last year, actually. I did 1 or 2. I think I did 4 videos last year. I might have 5 or something this year. And I only did 1 or 2 lives. So I'm beating my record for last year. But next year, I'm about to be back in full force. They got that World Athletics Challenge or something like that. But yeah, that last exchange, I don't know what was going on, but hey, you can say adverse conditions. You could say so many different things. I know they're going to eat it up. Some of them are going to beat themselves up and say, man, I could have done this. I wish I could have. But right now, the world champions are the Americans. And they're all in the same training camp. Isn't that crazy? So really, it would be kind of hard to beat their exchanges on a normal day because they're in the same training camp. So it's kind of like the Japanese athletes and the Chinese athletes. Those athletes are in the same training camps. So when it comes to the 4x4s, sometimes they overrepresent, where it's like they're not even on the ranking list in the 100 in the open. Think about that. They're not on the ranking list. China and Japan. You look at that world 100 list, they're not even in the top 50. Sometimes not even the top 100. Yet they can get 4x4s to make finals, and sometimes they can get medals. So that's what happens when you're in the same training camp. So it would have been a tall task for Jamaica. I got to be honest. Don't feel too bad in the crowd that Jamaica just could not, put together those exchanges, because when you got 4 women in the same training camp, what you gonna do? I mean, it was theirs to lose, really, the way I look at it. But Shelly Ann had one hell of a send-off run as far as her when it comes to that first leg. We're going to watch her one more time, and then I'll end that stream here. They said they could hardly see in the rain. Oh, wow. I could believe that. Especially you go the speed that you're going at, that they're going at, right? And it looks like it's drizzling, but it could be a little bit harder than that because the camera is maybe betraying it. But at the speed that you're going, you gotta be on. If anything, why don't they wear? I was about to say wear a cap. I'm over here. What the heck am I doing? I spaced out. But yeah, that was a good leg for Shelly Ann. Jefferson Wooden did her thing as expected. Britain was in the lead at this point right here. And then just fell completely the hell off on that bad exchange on the last one. That transition on that last exchange killed Jamaica's momentum a little bit. And there you go, everybody. That was the last day. This was a great World Championships. Tokyo this time around was crazy good. I gotta say, it was crazy good. The last one was quiet, obviously. The athletes were really excited on this one. The camera that they use on this one is different from the last one. I noticed that. Now, I could be wrong, but whatever camera they got is more cinematic than it was the last time. It is much more cinematic than it was the last time. So, unless it was just a camera technique, some of the times on the camera was janky. The reason why I pay attention to some of this is because I got friends in that produce movies over there in Hollywood and on a smaller scale for their own documentaries and stuff. But also, I'm looking at this because I'm like, look, let me see what I gotta buy in order to host something small on a small scale for myself. It's only for my own purposes for me. Looking at the price, I'm like, if I could get one of these cameras and one of them affordable, I bet you they go for 200,000 or 300,000. Let me order for China and it'll be 30,000. I bet you any money on it. These things are run 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. Get one from China that could be equivalent or better, and it's there. Unless it's Sony. Sony got the best cameras. They make almost all the cameras that are in phones, whether it's the iPhone, Samsung, Sony. They're top of the line when it comes to cameras. But anyway, this is very cinematic. So many things were done good. A couple of janky camera angles in a couple of the races. Like somebody dropped the camera even though it was robotic. Other than that, this championships was great. And I will see you guys in shortly. I may come out with that send-off video for Shelly Ann. I may not. Like I said, if I don't do it now, I might do it in 2026. But I did plan on doing that for her. So if I do, it's going to say farewell Shelly Ann, like preview to get people ready. and then the title of the video will likely just say Shelly Ann Fraser Price with a period. That's it. Like if I do my farewell videos for anybody going forward, it's just going to have their name. That's it. It's not going to say anything about that. It's just going to say Shelly Ann Fraser Price with a period after the name. Same thing if I eventually do one for Noah Lyles, Sydney McLaughlin, Lavrone, or anybody else like that. It's just going to have their name. That's it. And might have a period. So if you guys see a video that has that title, click on it because that's the dedication video. I'm going to see how I'm going to avoid copyright strikes for some of the stuff. I don't know how Total Running Productions and other people do it. But we're going to see. I will see you guys on the next one. It's been a great year. Thank you guys for coming out. And catch you soon or next year. You guys have been watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. See you guys next time.